And when I started, I had no money. I started on credit card debt. I didn't know one DJ, and I didn't know anyone in the cruise industry. So I just went for it and gunned for it. So long story short, it took me 7 years to charter my first cruise ship. And since then, we've done 28 full ship cruises. This is the 36th sailing of Groove Cruise. And we're celebrating 20 years on the high seas now.
Jason, first of all, yeah, congratulations with the 20-year anniversary of Groove Cruise.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So first of all, can you give a short introduction of yourself and what inspired you to start Groove Cruise?
Sure. So 20 years ago, I had this idea I had been on a couple of cruises before with my family and friends, and I was always bored because they're all families and old people and the music and the nightlife sucks. So I just had this idea of what it would be like to have the whole cruise ship and really good music and all my friends. And so I put a cruise together for some friends, and I had 125 people that went on that first cruise in 2004 from a 375-person email list that I had. And I called it the Groove Cruise, and we were like on this ship, but a group within the ship. So we'd rent the lounges and things like that to do parties. And I just saw like the connections and, even lives changed with that small amount of people. And I knew I was onto something. So I put a business plan together. I have a degree in entrepreneurship from Central Michigan University. And I put a business plan together to charter a cruise ship in 5 years. So double it every year. So do 125, 250, 500, 1,000, 2,000. And when I started, I had no money. I started on credit card debt. I didn't know one DJ, and I didn't know anyone in the cruise industry. So I just went for it and gunned for it. So long story short, it took me 7 years to charter my first cruise ship. And since then, we've done 28 full ship cruises. This is the 36th sailing of Groove Cruise. And we're celebrating 20 years on the high seas now.
All right, well, congratulations. It's an amazing job. And being on the Groove Cruise, I get to experience the parties and the scenes, and it's amazing.
Amazing.
Reflecting back on those 20 years up till now, what stood out the most during that time?
Really, just the connections that have been formed. So I've had a few people come up to me on this cruise that haven't been literally since 20 years, 18 years, 15 years ago. And just to see the growth of it and the growth of the community of people, and just to be part of something that the GC fam is going to remember for the rest of their lives. That's really special to have that opportunity where people spend a lot of money to be here. They save up, they plan their costumes, they put so much love and effort into it. And that's probably been one of the special moments. And then just, we have 7 weddings on board and it's like 4 or 5 proposals. And just to be part of someone's life moment like that is really life-changing for me. And then also the artists that we've booked over the years, as we've been able to book bigger and bigger artists, has been really special. Like we had Above and Beyond on the beach and Cascade on the beach years ago. And then we have Tiësto coming up in a couple days, and John Summit and Diplo. And so it's surreal when I see those type of artists playing, and I kind of think back to where I started, which was this kid from a small town in Michigan who didn't know one DJ to like booking Tiësto. Like, it's like the bottom of the bottom to the top of the top. So it's been an interesting 20 years for sure. A lot of hard work.
Yeah. So Tiësto will be playing at Stirrup Cay, right?
Yeah,
that's on
Great
the
Stirrup
beach.
Cay, yeah. So it's a private island that Norwegian Cruise Line owns, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. There's a zip line there. The beach is gorgeous. The water's beautiful. You can snorkel. You can swim with pigs. You can jet ski and parasail and all those things. But the party is really what's going to be the main attraction.
Yeah, you mentioned the GC family, the Groove Cruisers. Can you describe what it means to be part of that family, and what keeps them coming back to the Groove Cruise?
Yeah, that's really a difficult one to pin. I think it's different on each person, but that's really the core of what Groove Cruise is the GC family, and just that feeling of being home, or just being part of something bigger than yourself, and it's a family. Like, people look out for each other. Like, when someone has a health issue or someone passes away, like, the GC fam just kind of like gravitates to help, and we have a lot of resources on here for things like that too through my foundation. Deep bonds, and it's not just 4 days. It's a whole year-long thing, and people are going to visit each other and go to different festivals and travel around the world together. And that's really what Groove Cruise is about. We also call them the captains as well. And so when you call us, you're treated as the captain. Captain support is who you call up when you call us or email us, and everybody's the captain. They steer the ship. They tell us where to go, what artists to book, what cruise lines to use, what ships to use, the length of the cruise. And we're very adamant. That's how I've built the company over 20 years. It's just listening and learning and growing and innovating and trying new things and screwing up and falling on my face and getting punched when I'm down and kicked, and just keep getting up and just keep going and going. And I think that's how we've gotten to today. And it just comes back to the GC family. That's what really it's all about.
So really learning what people really want, listening to them, and keeping contact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned your foundation. Can you tell us something about that?
So Groove Cruise, since I started it 20 years ago, has always had a charitable component where I gave a percentage to another organization, and I've always believed that when we give is when we're most alive. And however, the other organization we were working with, I got the feeling that the money wasn't going to the kids, and that was the main end user of the point of the money was to benefit the kids, which were kids in Africa who lost their parents to AIDS. And then I went over to there to visit, and I just got the feeling that the money we were donating was being used, by the quote unquote nonprofit, and then it was used by the couple that was running the organization on site, and then the last person benefiting from the money, if at all, was the kids. So I created Whet Foundation, which is a 501c3, which is a public entity. It's not owned by me. It's run by us, but it's not owned by us. And we focus on generally orphanages and also schools and single mothers who've lost their homes in Cabo and also in Great Harbor, which is near where we're going in 2 days. Okay. There's just a single mom who lost her home like 3 days before we were there to a fire. So we raised about $20,000 to help her build a new place. And working with the school there, we have items that we ask all the captains to bring, like school supplies and clothing. Instruments actually is the big one so that they can practice some music. Yep. And then we have about 60 volunteers, I believe, on this one. So we're getting on a couple speedboats going over to the nearby island where everyone lives. There's 300 or 400 people that live on the island, and then we get with the kids. We do some like arts and crafts and games and music, and just have a good time and donate the items. And it's sometimes I would say a lot of the people who take part in the Whet Foundation experience, that's actually their favorite part of the whole cruise. And it's kind of interesting how that's evolved into that. Then the other side of Whet Foundation is mental health. So we have a few parts to that. We have mental health programming on board with when the music stops, and just to help anyone. I just hosted a journaling workshop earlier today. And I also am hosting today also a celebration of life. And that's for people who have lost loved ones, and they're able to come up, share a few words about their lost loved one. Then we write a note on a biodegradable card to them, we put it in a biodegradable wreath, and then we throw it over the ship at sunset. And it's a very cathartic release, if you will. And it's a very beautiful ceremony. It's emotional, very much so, but it's to harness the power of the ocean, and that just never stops, and some cultures believe that we come from the ocean. And to just be able to, stop for a second and get away from the music and get away from the costumes and get away from the craziness and focus on that person, and then, let them go. And it's a very powerful moment. And then, we have other mental health seminars. We have artists who talk about their challenges with mental health or how they've overcome challenges being in nightlife all the time and around drugs and alcohol 300 plus days a year, some of them. I mean, that's hard. I could not. and you know, just giving them a platform to be able to share that is a cool thing, and I you know, maybe it helps, you know, some people, because I've lost, you know, people in my life, as everyone probably has.
Yeah.
Mental health is a thing. I've dealt with it. I feel like everyone's going to deal with it at some point or another, and you know, I feel like it's great that we have those resources on board to grow and learn and share together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely feel like it's one big family, and everybody is friendly and easy to talk to, and everybody is taking care of each other. So that
Amazing.
Definitely feels very special.
Amazing. That's
So,
awesome. I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah. So and next year, 2025, the
2025.
biggest ship.
Yeah. So.
It's on the
We
Allure.
sold this one out, I mean, pretty much in February. We sold out in
Okay.
April of this past year, and then we had a wait list of thousands of people.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, how do we, you know, affect more people's lives positively? Because that's really what we
Right.
do with groovecruise. And so this is Norwegian's largest class of ship. So we're going to Royal Caribbean next year in 2025.
Wow.
It was the world's largest cruise ship class until this week, when the Icon of the Seas came out in Miami. So now it's the second largest, but honestly, it's not even that much. It's almost the same size. It's barely smaller than the new big one. And it has 7 neighborhoods. One of them is, or a couple of them, one of them is called Central Park. So in the middle of the ship, it's like cut out. So you have, you know, balconies that face the ocean. You have balconies that face Central Park on the inside. So I don't know, 8 stories, 10 stories tall. And then you have like, when it rains in the middle of the ship.
Okay.
And so you have like plants and trees and gardens and things like that in the middle of the cruise ship.
Wow.
Which is really cool. And then there's like a sports area, an adventure park area with a water park and a zip line on the ship that goes across. There's the aqua theater. I think this is probably the biggest cool part, is in the back of the ship is the wake, you know, as the ship's moving. And back there is what's called the aqua theater. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do the aqua show or not, but that's where we're going to set the stage up. And it's kind of like an amphitheater kind of style. And then on both sides, and then the middle of the ship is cut out. So you have all the balconies on that interior part, and then all the balconies and suites on the back of the ship are going to be able to see the stage. So people will be like partying throughout like the back, the middle, and all up through the ship. So it's going to be pretty
Impressive.
interesting.
Yeah. That's good. So every year bigger and bigger. What's the ultimate goal for the groovecruise?
I'm not sure where we'll go after that. You can't really go any bigger. So I'm not totally sure. But we have surveys. So we're going to have a big survey that comes out after this one. And we do read those meticulously. We do listen, we do learn, we do try new things. Some things work, some things don't. So.
Do you have any goals for any artists, particular DJs that you would like to see perform on the groovecruise?
So there's one artist that I've been trying to book for, I'd say 15 years. He's pretty much the #1 most requested artist in all of our surveys.
Okay.
We booked him.
Oh, wow.
However, I can't say it until about April.
Right.
So I can't believe that we have this person, or this lineup in general is like ridiculous. So a lineup is all relative. Like some people are like, you know, Tiësto and John Summit or Diplo, like they're all meh. And then some people are like, you know, these artists are amazing and these are not. And so we really focus on like a broader lineup, kind of. So like house, techno, trance, melodic bass. So you can kind of float throughout the ship and you can see different areas. We have like a Burning Man style artist in here, and we've got this hip hop party and an emo party tonight and a decades party tonight. So we really try to like mix it up. So it's not just all, you know, 24/7. It's 24/7 music, but there's 10 stages. So we really like work to like, you know, program different stuff and different sets. And I think there was a set last night with some artists that did like a metal set. It was kind of like
I like the that you have really various kinds of music. I myself ran into the Martian Circus,
exactly.
So it was really interesting to
Isn't
see
that
all
interesting?
these.
Did you perform with them?
Yeah.
Did you? Are you like a musician?
No, I helped them with the sets, and they had something going on. So yeah.
Cool. So Martian Circus is like a 5D, well, they call it 5D Martian Circus, and you can actually go up and perform with them,
Right.
and they jam out, and
Yeah.
you can drum or play the keyboard
Right.
or sing or whatever, and they're just a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right.
That's great.
Okay, Jason. Well, it was great. Well, it's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me on the
Of course,
cruise.
it's been such a privilege to have you here. You know, after meeting you last year, and
Right.
your great write-ups, I really appreciated that. And you've done such a good job of like portraying what Groove Cruise is, because it's really difficult to explain and understand. And you know, I'm just grateful that you're on board to experience it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we can't wait for future Groove Cruisers, and
Awesome.
nice meeting you.
Sounds good. You
All
too,
right.
man. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
Been on 8 Groove Cruises. There's just so much energy and the culture, the people, the vibe, the music.
We're on a honeymoon and this is the best party ever.
It's all about the vibe and music, of course.
Happy Groove Cruise!